Hi, I'm Delusion Dispeller. I'm going to be talking about Proverbs 11, verses 16 to 31 today. I already did the other verses 1 to 15 on the last video, so I wanted to continue this one and finish it up. So we're in Proverbs 11, verse 6. I can't talk. Verse 16. Father, just touch this time and let only the things that come through your hands and your approval enter this room. And only the people that want to hear the truth come into this room. Just touch this time, bless this time, be glorified in it. Let me speak your truth. Enlighten the eyes of our understanding and the knowledge of you. And let us all be changed as we hear from your word and go out, not the same as we came in. In your name I pray, amen. Proverbs 11, verse 16. A gracious woman retains honor, but ruthless men retain riches. I like that. Gracious. Somebody, when you get a chance, look up what the word gracious means. Hey, Reba, look up what the word gracious means. Let me know what it means, because whoever that is, the woman that has that retains honor. She keeps her honor. But a ruthless man retains riches. Ruthless men retain riches. So one person gets honor and the other person gets whatever he gets his grubby little hands on, basically. Riches. The merciful man does good for his own soul, but he who is cruel troubles his own flesh. The wicked man does deceptive work, but he who sows righteousness will have a sure reward. As righteousness leads to life, so he who pursues evil pursues it to his own death. You got to kind of classify what evil means to you, too, because it may mean one thing to one person and another thing to another person. There are some basic Bible truths of what evil is, but you need to look that up and determine what is evil. Because if you're holding on to evil things and you are pursuing evil things, it's to your own death. It may not be a physical death. It may be a death of your reputation. It may be a death of your spirit, a death of your soul. And by spirit, I don't mean like your spirit of God. I mean your spirit as in almost like your inner being. When you're pursuing evil things, it just destroys something within you. That's why I always tell my husband about the video games. Some of them I just don't like. The like the ones with the witchcraft and the runes and the spells, and I don't like World of Warcraft, for instance. I'm very much against that game or anything that is anything close to incantations and things like that God says stay away from those things. So if you're pursuing evil, you're going to start killing your soul a little bit at a time. Um, those who are of a perverse heart are an abomination to the Lord, but the blameless in their ways are his delight. That's what I'm striving to do, is be blameless. There's a verse in the Bible that says, let not your good be evil spoken of. So if you're doing good in your life, they're saying, make sure you keep your nose clean, stay out of trouble. You don't want people going around and speaking, evil about the good that you do. Because when you do evil things, even if you do some good, it kind of overshadows all the good that you do when you're doing evil along with the good. People don't look at the good, they look at all the bad things you do. So it's good to try to keep a good reputation, a good character. That's what God wants us to do. All right. Let's see. Though they join forces, the wicked will not go unpunished. I won't get into that. We'll just let that stand where it may. But the posterity of the righteous will be delivered. Posterity. There's another one of those words. If anybody can look up the word posterity, because whatever the posterity is going to be delivered. When I think of posterity, I'm thinking of posterior, but I'm sure that's not what it is, but it may come from that word. And I've heard of posterity being children, maybe. I'm not sure, but somebody please look that up and let me know what posterity is. I would, but if I flip out of the screen, I'm going to lose the whole entire thing. As a ring of gold in a swine's snout, so is a lovely woman who lacks discretion. I struggle with this sometimes, and it's really easy to do when you're online. Try to be discreet. Try not to say too much. Yeah, I'm very open and honest about things, and sometimes I do share somewhat too much. You think it means to prosper. Okay. I'm just wondering what the actual word itself means. Posterity and gracious. Those are the two words. Posterity and gracious. Um, so is a lovely woman who lacks discretion, like a ring of gold in a swine's snout. So I think the reason they say a ring of gold in a swine's snout or a pig's snout is that gold is precious. Hi G, good to see you. Um, and it's like putting a precious thing in something that's not clean, something that's not worthy of that thing being put in it and being part of it. They're saying that that's what a lovely woman who goes around and, just reveals everything about everybody is like that pig's ring in the nose, that golden ring in the pig's nose. That's true, love dogs, Reba. He offered Abraham a posterity like the stars of heaven. So descendants and children, I guess, would be what posterity is. So in that case, his posterity of the righteous will be delivered. So your children will be safe. They'll be delivered from, a life of sin, a life of torment. That's what that means. That's if they pursue the same God you pursue. If they don't, then they might be laying themselves open for something else. That's all right, Natalie. I see you there. Um, the desire of the righteous is only good, but the expectation of the wicked is wrath. So people that are righteous and right standing with God, they want good things. But people that are wicked, they just go around in anger all the time, angry. That's what I don't want to get on me is anger, wrath, vengeance, or any of that ugly. I don't want the ugly. So I try to have fun. When I get my voice back, I will be doing more singing. Yeah, madness, craziness. Yeah. There is one who scatters, yet increases more. And there's one who withholds more than is right. Okay. Some of these things are so cryptic, you're not really sure what they mean. This is verse 24. And the footnote says generosity prospers a person, stinginess impoverishes. So if you give, you're a giver to people, you're going to prosper, you're going to get blessed. But if you withhold and you constantly hold on to everything and this is mine, you're not having it, then that's stinginess and it's going to eventually lead to your own poverty. It may not be poverty in money or goods, it may be poverty in your heart. Or maybe poverty when you stand before the Lord and don't have any crowns to cast at his feet. Not really sure exactly what that verse means, but to me, that's what I think of. Um, verse 25 the generous soul will be made rich, and he who waters will also be watered himself. This is just about giving again. The people will curse him who withholds grain, but blessing will be on the head of him who sells it. This is all about giving. It's all about not being a hoarder, a greedy person, somebody that keeps everything to yourself and doesn't give to others. He who earnestly seeks good finds favor, but trouble will come to him who seeks evil. People always tell me, like my foster mom and people that are like my spiritual leaders will tell me, don't ever fret over the people that are prospering, that are being mean to you, because evil's going to come upon them sooner or later. You reap what you sow. Some people call it karma. But in this case, it says that if you earnestly seek good, you're going to find favor. You're going to have friends. You're going to have good things come your way. But trouble is going to come to the people that constantly seek the opposite. He who trusts in his riches will fall, but the righteous will flourish like foliage. So people that are all about money and all about wealth and all about having this and that, having a big house, a big car, or a nice car, having all the riches and the wealth, it says that those people are going to fall. They're going to fall because they're putting all their trust in all that stuff. And actually, Reba and I were just talking about this a minute ago. about how people that have like nice houses and nice things, it can be taken from you in a blink of an eye. All it takes is a flood, a fire. Look at this. We got forest fires, I think, in California. We've had how many floods? It can poof like that, be gone. And then you're looking at the rubble going, where are all my riches now? Where's that beautiful TV set that we just bought? Where's my gorgeous, cast iron bed with the canopy on it? It's in a heap in the rubble and the ashes. It can just happen just like that. So we need to be thankful for what we have. And even if you lose everything, you still need to be thankful because God will get you through that stuff. I've seen it happen many, many times. And there's some good hearted people in the world that will help too. Yeah, and there's some people that put on a facade that they're not really prosperous, but the ones that are prosperous, good for them. So they're blessed. God lets the sun rise on the just and the unjust. Some mean, nasty, evil people are prosperous because God lets the sun rise on both. He doesn't fault people that, you know, are wealthy. He lets the sun still come up for them. He lets them still live. But that doesn't mean they'll always have everything they have. So to look down on people that don't is not a good thing. The righteous will flourish like foliage. Um, if you're righteous, if you're in right standing with God again, you're going to flourish because your flourishing comes from in here, not out there. So even if you lose everything material, if you have a good heart and a good spirit, you're still going to flourish. You're still going to blossom. You're still going to flower, out into the world, which is awesome to know that. Oh, wow, Natalie, I'm sorry. Natalie knows that firsthand then how quick all of the things that you slaved over your job for and bought these gorgeous new things can just be taken from you. Oh wow. I'm so sorry, Natalie. That's awful. It's awful when people lose things. 29. He who troubles his own house will inherit the wind, and the fool will be servant to the wise of heart. He who troubles his own house. That all goes back to, in my mind, immediately, what my foster mom told me in my marriage. A wise woman builds her house, but a foolish one tears it down by her own hands. It's up to you to be the godly woman, to be the Proverbs woman, to be the supporter of your husband, because you can destroy him by your naggy, nasty attitude if you don't support him. Men, as much as we want to look at them as they're strong and they want to see themselves as virile and, whoa, he-man. Um, the woman behind them is often their strength, honestly. I think of the story of Samson, and is it Delilah? I think it's Delilah. She cut his strength off, his hair, but I think that can also be symbolic that she emasculated him. Back then, I believe that the long hair was a sign of masculinity. It wasn't like, oh, you're girly or whatever, like we think of it today. I think long hair, especially if you were a Nazarite, you're not to cut your hair when you're a Nazarite ever. From the time you're born, you grow your hair long. That's just how it was. And Samson had beautiful long hair, and it was strength to him. I don't know if necessarily his hair literally was what gave him the strength, but I think just the idea that he was a manly man could have been that strength to him. And when she cut his hair off, basically girlified him in a sense. No offense to anybody of alternative lifestyles. I'm not meaning to throw any stones here at all. But when she emasculated him and took away what he saw as his strength, that masculine persona, the hair, the strength went from him. And in our own homes, as women, we can often emasculate our men. Now, I'm not talking about like narcissistic, abusive men. They need to be knocked down several notches, and you need to get away from them because they don't have a right to be control freaks over you and dominate you and mistreat you and abuse you. I'm just talking about in a normal, neurotypical marriage situation. You don't cut down your man, you don't call him names, you don't emasculate him because you will strip his strength away. So we're talking right here. Hang on a second. Where is it? Oh my goodness. I'm looking for my my verse, and I totally lost my place here. We read that. Oh, he who troubles his own house will inherit the wind. That's where I left off. And the fool will be servant to the wise of heart. So people that act foolish will one day serve the people that are wise. And actually, pardon me, I'm getting over this cold. Fools, people that act foolish, people that don't follow truth, one day even their riches will be taken to them and stored up for the just. And I've seen that actually happen, where people that have been awful ugly to me, just really mean and totally unfair, where later on down the line God has them give me things like from their homes or whatever, and I hear that voice about the wealth, or the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just, because God will do that. He'll restore to you things that people steal from you, even if it's emotional or even a physical thing. He can do that. He'll have people just come out of nowhere and say, hey, I'm sorry I treated you that way back then. I just wanted to bring you something. And bam, they give you something. When tragedy strikes, many of the wealthy in my family have yet to open their doors to our homeless family members. Wow. That's awful, Natalie. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I know that's true. Some of the richest ones in the family are the ones that turn away and turn a deaf ear and a blind eye. Somehow that's how it works sometimes. Um, the fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he who wins souls is wise. That just speaks for itself. We don't really need to elaborate on that one. If the righteous will be recompensed on the earth, how much more the ungodly and the sinner? So, right here, we're talking about how the righteous will reap what they sow. They're saying that the ungodly and sinner will also reap what they sow on the earth. Not just the good ones, but the ones that aren't so good are going to reap things too. So that's what that meant. Anyway, yeah, this is going to be like a really short video. I'll let you guys share whatever you want on the topic, and then I'm going to close down, probably eat a little bit. I made some awesome chili with some stir fry mixed into it. Oh my goodness, it's so good. I'm going to go eat some of that and maybe grab myself a snack or something. And eventually tonight, I hope to be back online for just our, easy does it chat that we have every night. And hopefully it'll go well and we can just share some information with each other and spend some time together. Anyway, so does anybody have any comments, questions, whatever? Feel free to ask me. Oh, Sarah was home, by the way. That's our friend, Sarah. We were going to stop in. We were in the area. But we didn't know she was home. And tomorrow is Thanksgiving, so we will not be here. Anyway, I guess nobody has anything to add, so I'm going to close up, and I will see you in our live video a little bit later tonight, probably around 6. You made chili last night. That's awesome. Well, God bless and seal everything that was said here from your word and the lessons that you want us to learn. Bless each and every person as they go, and bring them back safely tonight if you want them to be here. In your name I pray. Amen. Bye.